Hey everyone, you're watching KTAL News Now. I'm your host Anthony Mocklin, and today is Thursday, which means we are almost to the weekend. But here on KTAL News Now, we're going to be looking at the events that are going on this weekend throughout the area and everything that you can do this weekend to get out the house if you don't have any plans. If you want something to do around the city, we got you today. So one of those things that is happening tomorrow on Friday is Glofest, and that is taking place tomorrow from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Riverview Park, and this is being put on by the Shreveport Regional Arts Council, and they plan to have a huge light show on the iconic Bukowski Bridge of Lights on the Texas Street Bridge, and that is pretty much going to illuminate the entire event throughout the night. And the event itself will be filled with arts markets where local artists and creators will be there to display their works for purchase and viewing, and just you can talk and mingle with them and get to know them and how their art is being influenced by the community and just their previous experiences. There will also be a food truck court where a bunch of different local food trucks will be present, so come hungry. There will be plenty of food and several different options to choose from. There will also be a kids area, so it is family friendly with plenty of entertainment and activities for children to do. And then there will also be street performances throughout the night, pretty much put on by Spinner Entertainment. They're pretty big in the street performance, and friends and family are encouraged to invite all of your friends and family because it is a community event. It is free and open to anyone, and they do encourage you to bring blankets and chairs if you are planning on coming. And the biggest headline of the night is violinist Q Major as well as guitarist Aaron Bradford, and they will be performing live music throughout the night at the event. And our Susan Curtin got to speak with them in the studio to hear more about their music backgrounds and what they'll be performing.
So I want to ask you how you got into the violin. I know a little bit of this story, but apparently you were a little bit of a troublemaker.
Yeah, so I used to get into all type of mischief growing up.
Yeah.
I started when I was about 7. I used to actually have like a messed up violin from my big cousin. I used to try to put it together, and my parents saw that, and they saw how eager I was to just figure out what it did, and they finally started putting me like in music classes, started classically trained, and kind of got into the other genres as I started growing up.
I see, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
I know you got a little bullying for that too.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, of course.
Violin.
But you know, that's because they didn't really, know what it was about yet. Now people are, catching
Now they
on.
do. They sure know what it's about now. Aaron, how about you? How did you start with the guitar?
So my dad was actually always like an 80s kind of thrash metal guitar
nice.
player. So, we'd bring the family friends over and stuff and, bring everyone in the bedroom and just kind of have like a big old jam session. So I kind of grew up in that environment and stuff. And, I can credit most of my love of music, to my dad and stuff. But then, I met people like my first guitar teacher who was my youth pastor, Philip Cole, and he started teaching me the guitar. And then along the way, I just threw out different sources of knowledge out there in the world, obtained every skill that I have to this day, and now I give what I have back out through my lessons that I teach.
love that.
So I teach at the Guitar Center, and then I
Yeah.
also do private lessons as well.
Be sure to visit that tomorrow from 6 to 9 p.m., like I was saying, at Riverview Park. And one thing that's going on, especially in the community of Shreveport Bossier, is the film community that is very, very vibrant and ongoing and active throughout. Very passionate people in that community that work on local films with local actors, directors, writers, everything you can think of when it comes to making a film. And they're planning to showcase that work this weekend for the People Acting for Change and Equality's OUTnorthLa Film Festival. And they are having their opening night tomorrow, Friday, September 5th, and they're going to kick things off with a 7:30 screening of A Nice Indian Boy starring Jonathan Groff, followed by a Q&A from Dr. Jaya McSharma, and that is going to kick things off, but it goes through September 11th, so it's going to be almost a week-long event, but most of the events will be held this weekend, including on Saturday, September 6th, where there will be a 6 p.m. reception featuring hors d'oeuvres that will be passed around, as well as a cash bar. It is a $10 entry to get in there, so be sure to reserve your spot online, because it will be $20 at the door. So be sure to get your tickets in now. And following the reception, there will be a 7:30 screening of the 25th anniversary of Sordid Lives, starring Beau Bridges, Delta Burke, Olivia Newton-John, and Leslie Jordan. And then writer-director Del Shores and actor Emerson Collins will be at the reception at 6 p.m. and then lead a Q&A after the screening. And then on Sunday, for Sunday's events, we have a 2:30 screening of Unspoken, followed by a Q&A from director Jeremy Borison. And then, like I said, there will be plenty of other screenings that will be running throughout the week. And these include Honey Don't, directed by Ethan Coen and starring Margaret Qualley. She's one of my favorite young actresses, so every time that she's in something, I'm pretty much a guarantee to go see it. So I'm super, super excited about this one. And then it also has Aubrey Plaza, who is also in a lot of different comedies, as well as Charlie Day and Chris Evans. Another screening will be I Don't Understand You, starring Amanda Seyfried. And then The Wedding Banquet, which is a remake of the 1993 original, starring Bowen Yang and Lily Gladstone. And then one other screening is Regarding Us, and that is by David Beck, who writes, directs, and acts in the film. So a lot of talent on display there. The next screening will be On Swift Horses, and that is starring Daisy Edgar Jones, Will Poulter, and Jacob Elordi. And then, like I said before, the reception on Saturday, tickets will be $10 online and then $20 at the door. So secure your tickets now. You can visit OUTnorthLa.org for more information or to purchase tickets. If you would like to learn more about PACE, you can visit pacelouisiana.org. But like I said, this will be going on from tomorrow all the way through Thursday, September 11th. So be sure to be there. Get your tickets for the reception because it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of great films that are being on display this weekend. And one other thing that's taking place this weekend is the Bossier Night Market. It is returning after its Cinco de Mayo / May the 4th Be With You event back in May. And that is always a highlight of the night market, where it's the largest single-day free vendor event in the United States, which is insane. There will be over 230 local vendors there, as well as 15 food trucks. So plenty of things to look at with local vendors, where they're selling homemade goods to produce to everything you can think of, their own handmade creations. So it's a good way to support local and shop local. So, but Armada Drain got to speak with the event coordinator, Chris Graham, to hear more about what to expect.
It's the largest one-day outdoor vendor event in the whole country. It's right here in Bossier City. It's in the south parking lot of Pier Bossier Mall this Saturday. Should be about 230 vendors, 15 food trucks, and another, almost 3 dozen food options. It's really gotten big. It's really gotten big.
Now this thing kicks right off, after the farmers market, which is going to be earlier that day, which is what we're seeing some clips of now. And then after that is when the Bossier Night Market. Talk about the difference between the two.
Sure. So the farmers market's in the morning. As you heard, the weather should clear up by then. So the farmers market is 9 to 1. And that's got your traditional farm goods and things like that, a lot of handmade items, and again, a lot of food, and soap and candles, things like that, a lot of artists. And then we take to the public, it's about a 2-3 hour break, and then we come back from 4 to 9. But what we're doing is adding an additional 120 vendors or so to the morning market. And then so from 4 to 9, we reopen up. Again, these events are all free. They're free parking. And we're going to have the night market from 4 to 9 and fireworks at 9 p.m.
I love a good fireworks show.
Yes.
This is the perfect date night if you're looking to get out and, of course, not be in the sun as well. And I know that a lot of people come out and they love to see the different vendors and whatnot. Talk about what's so special about this event to you.
Again, it's free. That's a big thing. We don't have a lot of free events in the community, so it's important to go to those, support them. It's just a big shopping festival. The vendors are lit up with a lot of lights, like Christmas lights and things like that. So it's almost like a Christmas in September type event.
Yeah.
This one is themed kind of for freedom, September 11th. We're close to that date, so the fireworks are a big part of that, and they'll be set to music, kind of get everybody in the patriotic mood. Yeah. And again, just so much shopping. It's big for our community, keeps those tax dollars local, and hopefully helps everybody.
And one other thing that's happening this weekend that is a huge event at Louisiana Downs. They are hosting their 43rd annual Super Derby this Saturday, September 6th. And if you missed it earlier this week, on Labor Day, they held their wiener dog races, which was a lot of fun. And our Grace Jensen got to see and all the sights and sounds from those races.
Horses aren't the only animals racing at Louisiana Downs. Labor Day is for man's best friend. The annual Wiener Dog charity race kicked off at noon, with some owners coming from out of town to race their prized pups.
Has she raced before?
Only to the dinner table. This is our first race. My wife has seen these before. We said, what the heck, let's enter her in, and she got accepted.
The 5 qualifier races are separated by weight class, with the first and second place winners of each advancing to the championship race. Spectators could place a minimum $2 wager on their favorite dog for the chance to win a commemorative t-shirt.
Anything you have to say, Ms. Lucy? No?
She'll tell me about it later.
A portion of the proceeds from the bets benefit 3 local shelters in the area: the Humane Society of Northwest Louisiana, Paws for Life, and Robinson's Rescue. Between each dog race, kids had their chance on the track by participating in foot races, also separated by age group.
The kids love it. I think it just is a different atmosphere. Not only do we have the wiener dogs during the morning, but we transgress to the horse races. So there's something a little bit for everyone, so to speak.
And just a reminder, it is the 43rd annual Super Derby this Saturday at Louisiana Downs in Bossier City, and there will be a $250,000 total prize amount given to the winners. And this will be a family fun event with free. It's free to go with food trucks and drinks and entertainment that will all be present there. And the first race will kick off at 3:35 p.m. with activities throughout the day starting at 1 p.m. There will also be a hat contest, so they encourage visitors to go big and bold with their race day attire. And Armada Drain will actually be a celebrity judge at this year's hat contest, so be sure to check that out and say hello to her. But that's going to be very, very exciting, especially if you're not the biggest horse racing fan. It's still going to be a lot of fun. Just the atmosphere and the showmanship and just pageantry of everything is always a delight, especially at events like the Kentucky Derby that you see every year. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But speaking of, I guess not really in the same breath as horse racing, but technically sports, but the NFL officially kicks off tonight with the Dallas Cowboys visiting the Philadelphia Eagles, and that will take place tonight at 7:20 on NBC. And the Cowboys, who finished 7-10 last year, are heading to Philly, who finished 14-3 on their way to winning a Super Bowl. A lot of different storylines going on through this game. The Dallas Cowboys just traded arguably their best player in Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers, so their defense has been completely decimated. I really don't see them being able to keep up with the Philly offense, but we'll see. I could be wrong. They have a lot of young, unproven people, especially in the secondary, so it'll be interesting to see how they, I guess, manage against Philly's offensive attack. Whereas on their offense, the Cowboys' offense, they added George Pickens from the Pittsburgh Steelers, who is a wide receiver, and their passing attack should be pretty lethal again this year. I know Dak Prescott, the quarterback, did miss a lot of time last year, so with him healthy, expect to see a revamped Dallas offense this year. But it's going to be a great game no matter who you're rooting for. I know we have a lot of Dallas Cowboys fans in the region, so I know a lot of people are pulling for them, but on the road in Philly, I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to take Philly here, but, they were the reigning Super Bowl champs. They didn't lose a lot of people in the offseason. They're still going to be a great, great team. They could go back, but I don't know. Saquon did get run into the ground essentially last year, so we'll see if he holds up the rest of the season. I'm not, I'm praying he stays healthy and everything, but, that's a lot of wear and tear on an aging running back. I get he's a freak of nature, but, it takes a toll on people, so it's going to be a great game. I can't wait for it. I'll be sure to recap that game and all the different tidbits and highlights from it tomorrow on Football Friday, where we'll also be looking ahead to high school games this weekend as well as college on Saturday and then NFL Sunday for the first time this year. I can't wait. It's going to be a blast, so be sure to stick with us on KTAL News Now, which streams Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. You can view all of our previous episodes of KTAL News Now on our YouTube page at KTAL News. But like I said, we stream every day, Monday through Friday, weekdays at 1 p.m. on KTALnews.com, which is also where you can get your local breaking and trending stories. Be sure to stick with us. Like I said, we have Football Friday tomorrow, and then we come back on Monday to recap the weekend and everything that happened. So can't wait for that. Looking forward to seeing you all again. I'm Anthony Mocklin. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you for joining us.